Have you been feeling uninspired lately or even depressed with the current state of the world, everything going on in life, things seemingly feeling like they're so heavy that you kind of just want to give up? If you've been feeling that way, trust me, you're not the only one. There's plenty of people that get overwhelmed by that feeling and it hits them like a ton of bricks out of nowhere. Even me, I have moments like that sometimes where I feel pessimistic, I feel a little down, and my spirit just feels like it can't really take too much more. And when I feel uninspired like that, I turn to a couple of different things. And in this episode, I'm going to share some of those things with you.
Welcome to Unlocking Levels, helping you reach new levels in your potential.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy CL the Source back with another episode of Unlocking Levels. Thank you for tapping in. And in today's episode, I'm going to be sharing 3 things that you can do to help yourself when you're feeling a little less inspired than usual. You might even be feeling depressed. In today's day and age, we got so much going on. We live in a 24-hour news cycle where it just feels like we're constantly being fed with bad news after bad news after bad news. We got wars, we got politics, we got violence, we got viruses, you name it. It's something new in the news every single day, seemingly every single moment. You turn on social media, you turn on the news outlets, you're gonna find something negative, and that's gonna feel very heavy and burdensome. And I'm not immune to that. I feel that at times myself. I currently feel that with everything that's going on in Gaza and with Palestine. And it's just heartbreaking to see some of the things. You can't look away from some of the things that's being cycled out there, especially when you're seeing kids being harmed and being killed. And it's just crazy. And at times, that has such a negative impact, and it takes a lot of work to repel that. I've talked about this before in terms of just because I don't pay attention to it, just because I try my best to see the optimistic side of things, doesn't mean that I don't care about what's going on in the world. As a matter of fact, I care so much to the point that I feel the biggest difference I can make is by being the change in the world that I want to see. Being more loving, being more kind, being more patient, being the best version of myself so that I can make ripples in this society through every little interaction that I have. And even in those times, it gets really hard to do. I get very worn down sometimes, but I know I'm resilient enough to pick myself up. And that resilience is built from a lot of different things. And in today's episode, as I mentioned, I'm going to share 3 different things that when you do feel uninspired to keep moving forward on your path, when you feel like the weight of the world is just too heavy and too much to bear at times, these are the 3 things that I lean on to kind of get the ball rolling again, to create some momentum. And the first thing that I want to talk about is literally do nothing. Absolutely nothing. I want you to literally find time to yourself where you're free from distraction and do nothing. Simply just be. Be a human being, not a human doing. And when you get in this space, what you'll find in the first parts of those moments where you're alone and you're without your devices like your cell phones, books, magazines, anything that's a distraction to you, what you'll find sometimes is that your mind will just feel like it's looking for something to kind of attach itself to. But you have to be patient. You have to train yourself in those moments to be disciplined enough to just sit there. Give yourself at least 20 minutes. And if you can do this daily, it's even better. But I'd say in the beginning portion of things, if you're just getting started, take 20 minutes. 20 minutes. I know that might sound like a lot, but it's actually not that long, and it goes by very fast. At most, what I want you to have with you is a notepad and a pen. That way you can jot down your thoughts, you can sort them all out, because what this time is supposed to do for you is supposed to give you time to analyze your life, analyze your space, and to get more in tune with yourself, and really to empty your mind. A lot of times it's so chaotic in our minds where we tend to overthink, we tend to have all these deep, heavy emotions that we're feeling that we bottle up, that we don't allow ourselves to process properly. And then we end up taking that with us in every single day and every single moment as we move forward in our life. And it becomes heavy, it weighs you down, and it has a lot of negative effects that can rear its ugly head at any given time. So in this moment, when you're doing absolutely nothing, there's several things that you can do when you don't have your phone, when you don't have your devices or anything like that. Be with yourself. Try to find a quiet space where you're not going to be bothered. Take some deep breaths, right? This all falls under the category of doing nothing because we're breathing anyway, right? I would say sit there, close your eyes, try not to fall asleep, try to analyze your thoughts, right? Look at how you're feeling, feel how you're feeling, allow yourself to feel how you're feeling, and process those feelings properly. File them away when you need to, when you're done feeling the way you feel. And when you find those moments of clarity in that space, that's the best thing that this time offers for you. And then in that space as well, I would say take a long, hard look at yourself in the mirror. Look at yourself deep in your eyes and ask yourself some of the toughest questions that you've been avoiding for a long time. Am I happy where I'm currently at? Am I truly happy? Am I doing what I'm destined and designed to do? Can I do more? Am I feeling fulfilled? What can I do? How can I serve? How can I rid myself of this feeling? And a lot of times what you'll find, and everybody's individual answers are their own. You know what I'm saying? And it's unique to yourself. So it's not going to be a one size fits all type of deal. I know mine. I've been in a space where I've looked myself in the mirror and I've asked myself those questions. I ask myself questions every single day in terms of where am I going? Who am I? How may I serve? What can I do better today? And you're also going to find that when you give yourself enough time to be with yourself, eventually you're going to find that, and I hope that this is the case, because this is the case for me, I found that I have much more to be grateful for than there is to complain about. And when you can lean on that gratitude, as I've talked about numerous times throughout this podcast journey of mine, gratitude is a very powerful gift that you can give to yourself. And in this moment, this can really only happen when you are with yourself and you find that solitude and you give yourself that time and that space to do these things. Too often, we don't do that. We don't give ourselves enough time to ourselves. We're giving so much of ourselves to those that we love, to our jobs, to our distractions, to anything aside from ourselves. And one thing I've certainly learned is that you cannot pour from an empty cup. You have to make sure that you're filling your cup. And the only way to do that is giving yourself that time, even if it's just pockets throughout the day, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, ideally, if you can do that shit every single day. And if you could do it more, all the better, because you got to recharge your battery. You got to recharge your spirit. You got to fill your cup in order to be the best version of yourself, in order to give, in order to do what you're designed to do here in this world. And not only that, not only are we not giving ourselves enough time, but we're depleting ourselves in many ways, in terms of the food that we eat, in terms of what we consume. And it all has a compound effect in terms of how you feel, in terms of how much your spirit can handle. And your spirit can handle a lot. It really can. Even when you feel like you don't have enough strength, you're a lot stronger than you think you are. But sometimes you just need to rest. Sometimes you just need to give yourself that space and analyze your life and sort it out and compartmentalize what it is that you got going on, so that you can show up better for those that you love, better for what's important in your life. And these are all things that are very important. And again, this can only happen through stillness. And I know I said do absolutely nothing and kind of listed a whole bunch of different things that you do in that space, but really that space is designed for you to be with yourself and let the answers come to you. And when the answers come to you and the spirit moves you and you feel like your spirit's reconnected and recharged and your energy is a lot more higher, then you can get back out and doing what you need to do. But when you give yourself that time to do absolutely nothing, you're giving yourself that time to recharge and reconnect and to do all these different things that you need to do for yourself, for your spirit, for your soul, for your mind, your body, everything. And trust me, you'll feel a whole lot more better if you can incorporate time in every single day to where it's dedicated just solely to you. I do it for myself all the time, as often as I can, and it's only provided great benefits for me. So do yourself a favor and schedule some time for yourself each day. You got to do it. The same way you schedule time for your loved ones, for your job, for all these different commitments that you have. Commit to yourself and schedule time for yourself. You'll thank yourself and you'll really enjoy the process. It may be tough in the beginning, but I know with a little bit more patience and a little bit more practice, you're going to really look at life in a different way, because I know I have. Number 2, I would say do your best to connect with someone positive. This is number 2 in terms of what you can do when you're feeling uninspired. If you have somebody, if you're lucky enough, if you're blessed enough to have a person that you trust, that you confide in, that you look to for positivity, love, guidance, direction, somebody that can help you sort things out in your life, lean on that person, connect with that person. You know what I'm saying? I think that there's a difference between pouring out all your problems to somebody and venting versus having a person in your life or people in your life that can actually look at it from a different perspective, give you some of the guidance that you might not be seeing in your own life, and help you kind of just look at it from a different lens. And you might see something that that you weren't seeing on your own. And when you do, and when someone helps you realize that and lend some of their positivity, their love, their kindness, their heart to you, then you can absorb that, right? And you can feel that energy, and that can help you pour into your cup as well. I'm fortunate and blessed to have a great circle of friends, of people that are pushing and pulling and moving in similar directions, working towards something that I'm working towards. And I lean quite heavily. I have discussions every now and then with some people. I like to lean on thing number 1 that I gave you guys, which is find answers myself and tap into certain resources within myself to be able to kind of like find my way. But there are moments where things get a little turbulent, things get a little crazy and a little hectic, where I need help. And it's okay to need help. It's okay. And you need to reach out to anyone that can help you. And again, you got to make that distinction. Don't just get on the phone looking to vent. Be solution oriented. Go into the situation when you connect with somebody positive in your life, knowing that it's a valuable resources. That person, those people are valuable resources to you, but you don't want to just pour out all your problems to them and not actually take action in your own life, to where you're repetitive with the problems and you're not taking certain advice that can actually help you. So go into it with an open mind. Go into these interactions with people that you love and trust with open minds, to kind of like take things and actually make positive strides in your life. You know what I'm saying? So That's thing number two. And if you don't have friends or family, I know there may be some of us that aren't as blessed, like that may really just be out there on their own. But I just want you to know that there are valuable resources out there. One being, if you came across this video, leave me a comment, drop me a message, and I'd be happy to connect with you. I'd be happy to pour into your cup, to pour into you. With technology, it's so much more easier. I can hop on a Zoom call with you, a FaceTime session. There's all sorts of ways to connect. So if you're feeling like you got nobody and you're just in a whirlwind of trouble and you need help, please, open invite to anybody. Reach out to me. I would take time out of what I'm doing to help you. And I truly mean that. And I hope that lands with you so that you find somebody, even if it's me, to connect with, to help you sort out your situation. I'd be happy to do so. But there are other resources as well. Online, there's communities that you can reach out to. There's other people that are going through something similar or are going through something as bad as you, that you might want to connect with, to kind of see what they're doing, how they're getting themselves out of a rut, right? And community is very important. Connection is very important. And I strongly encourage you, if you're feeling alone, reach out, tap into all these different resources. Online, there's communities, like I mentioned. There's therapy. There's all sorts of different things there's hotlines. There's things that you can do for yourself to get yourself back to a better place mentally, spiritually, and get yourself out of depression and feeling more inspired. And thing number three that I lean on when I'm feeling uninspired, when I'm feeling a little bit lower, I might be feeling some effects of depression due to whatever's going on in life, right? This is one of the main things I do. I take action. I take action on even the smallest thing on my to-do list. If it's even just doing a set of 10 push-ups, 5 push-ups, I do 100 push-ups. If it's doing something like fixing my bed, if it's doing something like splashing water on my face, if it's doing something like getting up and just going for a walk, if it's doing something like cleaning up my room, if it's doing something like going out there and grabbing a cup of coffee, just don't sulk. I know number one, what I said is do absolutely nothing. And this is the polar opposite of that. There are times when your energy is spent to where you need to give yourself time to do nothing, to reconnect, and to look at your life and analyze your life and recharge your battery as you would recharge your phone, right? We're not robots, and we also need to be recharged. So those moments when you feel energy is low due to constantly doing so much, number one is going to be your best friend when you absolutely do nothing, when you disconnect from everything and you give yourself that time to recharge and reconnect. Now, thing number three is important to do if you're doing absolutely nothing and you have no traction and you have no momentum in your life. You need to take action. Even if it's the smallest thing, chug a glass of water, take 10 deep breaths, close your eyes for a second and just pray. Whatever you need to do, the smallest thing that you can do for yourself, do that. And then when you finish that, do the next thing. And then when you finish that, do the next thing. You see what happens here, right? It's a chain effect. You're creating momentum for yourself. What happens is that snowball starts to move, goes further and further and further. As you keep doing things, you stack one thing on top of another, you take action, it becomes the avalanche effect, where now that snowball has rolled so much and you've created so much more momentum that you've created an avalanche, and now things are just flowing for you. And sometimes you need to just kickstart your life in that way. because sometimes in life we freeze up, things happen, the weight of the world gets really heavy, the weight of what you got to do in your life gets really heavy. I understand that. I relate to that. I've been in spaces like that. I continue to, I know I'm going to be in another space like that at some point in my life, but these tools, especially number 3, take action, can do so much for you. Do these small things, and actually create momentum in your life, create waves, create ripples, and it's going to generate all sorts of different things for you. All sorts of different things are going to start to come into motion for you. Opportunities will present themselves. You'll start taking care of yourself more when you just start acting, when you start moving, when you start doing things, and you're not stagnant. You rid yourself of that stagnation, and you actually create momentum. Oh man, it's very powerful. Take action. Like Marshawn Lynch said, I'm about that action, boss. And that's just the reality. Like, these are the 3 things that I think can really help you, because I know they really help me. And there's plenty of other things that you could do, but I wanted to keep this episode short to 3 different things that you can kind of lean on and kind of start right now, depending on what part you're at in your journey. And I really hope that what I spoke about today in today's episode landed with you and helped you in any way possible. So with that being said, that's all I got for y'all. I just want to wish y'all a bunch of love, a bunch of light. I know today's world right now, with everything going on, there's a lot that can really impact you in a negative way, and it certainly I feel it as well within my own life. And I just want to send you encouragement, send you love, send you light, and hopefully you feel inspired to take action in your life and do what you need to do to get the ball back rolling again, and create that momentum in your life and get yourself back to a place of feeling inspired, because this life really is a gift. It really is a gift. Closing notes here before I get out of here. I recently had a loved one pass away, and I did an episode a couple weeks back when she passed away. And for me, as time has kind of settled, I realized again that life is so short. Like, none of this time on this planet with our loved ones is promised, and we should not take none of this for granted. I know that's easier said than done, but when you understand that we all have an expiration date, none of us are immune from, passing away on this plane, in this dimension, in this life. So to kind of keep that at the forefront of everything you understand in this life and that you do, it's just a beautiful reminder to take advantage of your time here. It's a gift. I know it seems heavy at times. I know it seems like it's not at times. It's not beautiful at times, but I guarantee you it really is. And the world needs your presence. The world needs your energy, your spirit. You are here for a reason. And I hope that this message encourages you to find that light within yourself and understand your place in this world, so that you may better serve. And through that servitude, you're going to find fulfillment. You're going to understand purpose, and you're going to find joy, peace, happiness, love. And it's a beautiful thing. And I wish you all the best on your journey. And thank you for being a part of mine. Thank you very much, y'all. Peace and love.